Absolutely. Let's bring in Samir Arora, who's joining us now from Helios Capital. Samir, thank you very much for waiting. I was looking forward to that picture. Happy Diwali to you, your family, everyone. I was thinking, as we were we were getting ready to come to you, I said, will that poster be behind you? Shah Rukh Khan, there's Warren Buffett, and then there is Samir Arora, right?
We know that. We want to know the story.
It's handmade. It's a painting.
Oh wow, that's quite something.
Took a photo and it's still incomplete.
Okay.
So Samir, whom do you identify with more? The man on the left of you or the right of you, or both? In that painting.
No. So you know what happened? We are just copying a scene outside Legends Bar in Nashville. And there they have their country singers and others in that bar. So we around our bar said, let's make the legends that we think are legends.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. That's something.
And I don't think, Samir, today there's going to be Coke for you, right? Maybe something a little more spiced up.
All right. Samir, that question that we were discussing, actually the point that we were putting forward is FII selling. I think it's relentless, right?
Yeah, but one thing is good, that they have increased the possibility or probability of this somewhat also doing well from here to next Diwali. If everything had happened in the last year only, then that would have made it even more difficult. So I think basically you can put it up as a chart if you search for this data yourself, that if you look at last 3-year returns of Nifty and you compare it to any other period, last 5 years, last 7, last 9, last 10, last 15, last 20, last 25, last 3-year returns are lower. And if you look at the 500 index, it is not materially different. Less than 1% different from all these other periods. You are most welcome to see. Actually, last 5 will be the highest, but all others are more or less in the same range, even for the 500 index. So I don't feel too bad about the fact that, so much money has been made at a market. Actually, the fact that the 500 index is higher means that the mid-cap, small caps have done much better. And that there is no way you can stop them from correcting. You don't need a reason. Some reason will emerge as it has emerged. Although this month, actually, mid and small may have done better than large caps. But over time, if there is any nervousness, it is only about the extent of that outperformance, which is not in line with any history. And it always happens in the middle of the run where the mid-cap, small cap outperforms the highest. And then over time, it goes away as it has multiple times in the past.
Do you think, Samir, this is a one of those bull market corrections? That's how one should view it? Like we had many of them between 2003 and 2008. At least we had 30% falls. Here we are down about 8% from the highs. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I don't think this is a bull market of that proportion. As I said, if you look at last 3-year returns, Nifty is up less than 12% per annum. You can do it from today back 3 years, or maybe 12 point something. And the 500 is up 15 point something per annum for 3 years. In those 3 years, 4 years of 2004 to 7, the 500 index was up something like 40% per annum for 3-4 years. So this bull run is not like that. But the one thing that has spoiled it a little bit is that the results of this quarter are pretty mediocre. And therefore, I think, depends on what you call a bull run. We call a bull run as somewhere in the range of our history, which is mid-teen, more than debt, more than other things, but you're not going to make 20-25% with these kind of results.
Yeah. But Samir, the question is, okay, let's take it step by step. And I first want to get your sense on this whole FPI selling. You're sitting pretty close to many of these guys. I'm sure you talk to them fairly often, and you're in that circle, that chatter. Why are they selling India or taking profit from India so aggressively? We're hearing lots of stories. First, the story was that selling India, they want to tactically go overweight on China. And the new story is that the home market is doing really well. They want to go back and invest in the US. What are the stories, and which story do you find most convincing about this whole India selling business?
I think most convincing is from India and maybe a little bit of China also to US. Why? Because you see the desperation which these guys seem to be selling in October. If it was to go into China, that would make less sense. It would make more sense if Chinese market was itself doing very well this month, so that there is absolute desperation. Oh my God, I'm underweight China, and it goes up every day and it is bugging me. No, China is actually down. And then I tweeted also recently some report which said that Goldman Sachs, because all these brokers know exactly who's selling where, that actually China also, they've had net sales this month. So what is the other event for which this panic kind of selling is happening in India is the US election. And also, you would not go into China if you think Trump is winning, which I think is more probable anyway, because, you don't know what they will do. Although actually what will happen will be maybe in Jan and Feb when he actually becomes, if he wins. So I would think going into US looks a bit more logical than going into China right now. But I think that the pace will moderate one day. And when it moderates, our market will react positively and enough to make the start of next year okay. I don't know, it's not happening right now because the selling is not stopping, but it still doesn't look to me that you really you need to go from India to go to US, because most of the guys who are into India are emerging market funds, Asian funds,
right,
global emerging market funds. So I can't imagine that they are wanting to go to US, or they're even allowed to, but some X% may be like that, and that is what is happening.
Okay, Samir, stay with us. We have another special guest, your close friend Ramesh Damaniji, also joining us. Member BSC, needs no introduction. He's also still with us. He's another one with the fan following. Samir, so you heard, I don't know if you were able to hear some of what Ramesh Damani was telling us. Themes from your perspective, not immediately, but 2-3 years down the line, what would those be?
So I think, first of all, right now, because I don't go for 5-year type things, and because who knows how the competition comes and other things. But I think for the next 6-9 months, you will only go with winners who are already having good results. I don't think that when companies have bad results, they suddenly change in 2 months. Because these companies have been doing well for long, so they don't easily disappoint. And they bang their heads before they are forced to disappoint you. And also the economies are normally slow moving. So if you have doing badly this quarter on consumer sentiment and consumer front and auto sales, suddenly next quarter things don't revert to normal. So I would think that for the next many months, maybe 6-9 months, what you're doing for is where the companies are clearly getting growth, and where there is some logic behind that growth. And in the long run, ultimately, these will remain the same thing. But if you ask me a theme, I like all these 3 new digital stocks. I mean, the stocks are not new, but where the growth is very high, because right now, I think there will be a shortage of growth. I don't think commodities will do well. I don't think autos will do well. I don't think consumer will do well. And therefore, and even financial, half of them are doing quite badly, actually. So where will you find the confidence that, okay, you can make, 15-20% in the end at a portfolio? I don't think you will make that this year, but you'll try in each stock, and there'll be fewer and fewer stocks even promising that kind of earnings growth.
Samir, very briefly, you heard Ramesh Damani telling us that for markets here in India and emerging markets, Harris administration perhaps is better because Trump can change the rules of the game. Your thoughts? You're also someone who watches, the global stuff closely. Your sense? Well,
I would first think that it should be what is good for US. I think Trump is much better for US. Otherwise, that country itself will go under at the way it is going, without any direction, without any management, without any of the basic things that countries need. And after that, it can be. But actually, if Kamala Harris wins, there are higher prospects of her increasing capital gains tax in US from 21 to 28%. And that how the Indian system will spin that and say that if developed country and the biggest country can raise capital gains tax, why are you criticizing us for increasing capital gains? It'll give them more example or reasons to do the same here using that logic. So from that angle alone, I hope she doesn't win, but who knows?
Well, we'll see. We'll have the answers on the 5th of November. So it promises to be a really exciting week when we come back from our, short little Diwali weekend break, right? Samir, I'm told I think you have to be off, so we'll let you go. Wish you happy festivities. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to connecting again soon after the US results. Maybe on that day itself, we'll book your date and your calendar soon enough. Thank you.
Everybody, all you and all the viewers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Well, let's just